Today we're going to take a little walk along the B&O Railroad. I was kind of looking for bottles and stuff up here, and I found some like turn of the century stuff, but nothing that was really exciting. But the area we're in right now has great Civil War history. Again, this is the B&O. Ran from Baltimore to the Ohio River during the Civil War. It was here, and Stonewall Jackson came here to Martinsburg, West Virginia, right along this stretch of track, and captured a ton of locomotives from a private company, the B&O Railroad. What he did is he set up camp here with his troops, kind of took over the railroad. This is the very beginning of the war. In fact, whoops, here comes a train. We're gonna have to go over the edge so they don't throw anything at us or kick us in the head. Let's just zip down here real quick and let them go by. This is good enough, I guess. I'll go zipping by here in a second. But anyway, yeah, so Stonewall Jackson came up here to Martinsburg, West Virginia. The outbreak of the war, again, I'm not sure if war had actually been declared yet or not. But what he did is he said that, although we're in Virginia, or West Virginia right now, this was Virginia, he said that he's taking control of the railroad because the trains are keeping his troops awake in their camps, because they're running all hours of the day and night. So he made the B&Os run on a certain schedule, so the trains would only come through at certain hours. And that was a sly little trick Mr. Jackson had up his sleeve. He wasn't as good a man as he is made out to be sometimes in history, because again, this is private property, not military. I'll be quiet. Man, the ground is rumbling under me right now. Okay, we can start talking again. So, where was I? What Stonewall Jackson did, he wasn't Stonewall Jackson, and he was still just Lieutenant Jackson, I guess. I think he was still a lieutenant. And what he did is he made the B&O Railroad stop here in Martinsburg for certain hours. He wanted his soldiers to get a good night's rest because they were being woken up all the time. So he had all of these trains, all these locomotives, boxcars, and equipment and all kinds of stuff lined up here in Martinsburg, and he sprung his trap. And he would not let anybody leave. No more locomotives, no more trains, no more private property of the citizens of the United States or of this particular company, the B&O Railroad, could go anywhere. So he takes all of the boxcars and he lines them up on the tracks behind me and a little bit further down. That's why I want to go and look, because I've never been here before. He lines them up on these on the rail sidings here, on the rail line, and he burns them. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of boxcars. The locomotives, what he does is he takes them off the track and he puts them on the Shenandoah Valley Turnpike, and he hauls them away with horses. So up on this turnpike, which had, it was like a dirt road back then, he would have a whole bunch of horses pulling these locomotives, and they hauled them 100, 200 miles up the valley, where most of them actually sat and rotted until after the war, but a lot of, some of them they took to Richmond and they used the Confederacy. But yeah, that's how the Confederacy got a lot of their rolling stock and a lot of their locomotives. And what he didn't take with him, he burned on these tracks behind me and a little bit further down. So hard to say what's underfoot. Now this was, of course, modernized in the late 1800s, so a lot of that stuff is probably buried underneath the gravel and stuff below us. But yeah, that's what old Stonewall Jackson did. The citizens of Maryland did not appreciate that because, of course, the B&O ran through a lot of Maryland, and they had a lot of stock. The government, the Maryland state government, owned a lot of stock in the B&O, and basically Jackson stole it all from from underneath them, because the railroad had pledged neutrality during the war at that time. Now, of course, after all this happened, they switched to the north, and the rest is history, so to speak. Let's go look at the tracks and see if we can see any of those old steam locomotives sticking out of the mud down here. Wouldn't that be cool? Probably some down here. And this would have been the very area here where he would have been burning all these boxcars and everything that they couldn't carry out. And hey, look, here's an old brick. That could date to the Civil War, who knows? But we're going to go on down here a little bit further. There's a neat cemetery up here that dates to the war. We might go, yeah, we'll go look at that. I've never been up there either. Might as well, huh? But you can just picture hundreds of boxcars and the older locomotives being torched and burning down here. And some really good pictures online, actual real live pictures at the Library of Congress site of what it looked like after he did that and took off. But yeah, let's go look at this. This is cool. We'll go up to the cemetery. I've never been up there. It looks really neat. And in this general area, I've actually found a lot of Civil War stuff. There's all kinds of camps and whatnot. I don't know what that is over there. If that's, oh, that's just part of Martinsburg. I can see that building. I thought it might be abandoned, but I can see some houses, look like newer houses up there. But we're going to cross the tracks here and try not to get run over. Go into that ravine, and we're going to go look at that cemetery real quick. Well, we made it across the tracks. This is a great big hole here. It's almost like a sinkhole. I don't know how the water would get out of here, unless there's a tunnel. But look, there's some groundhogs digging in here. Look, they dug up some bottles. Of course, that's a plastic one, but you know what that is right here, don't you? This is an old milk bottle. Well, the top to one. This is a cream top to a milk bottle. That's pretty slick. Come on, groundhog. Bring me some treasure. All right, let's go on down the hill here. This black dirt. Oh, that's not a body. Is that a body? This black dirt is from coal. You find that along the railroads quite often. Oh yeah, it looks like there probably was some type of little drainage tunnel down here that's filled in now. Yeah, definitely. There's probably a pipe that goes out underneath here, but it's just all filled in. This is a neat little area, huh? All right, I'm gonna explore this a little bit, and if I see something really cool, I'll show it to you. If not, I'll see you on the hill where the dead people are. That's an old fire ring there, isn't it? Hey, what's that? Is that a breastplate from the Civil War? Nope. It's a little lid of some sort, though. That could be old. I don't know. Yeah, we'll throw it in the pocket. Just in case. It's almost about the size for like a cap box for Civil War caps. Whenever you see rocks in a circle like that, you know, that's where somebody probably had a campfire. You can actually see some bones there too. And, you know, it could have been in, you know, kids or hobos, who knows. That could have been done 70 years ago. See some bricks. These are older bricks. You know, this is an area that could have some really cool stuff in it. Looks like, is that a headstone down in the hill? Gosh, look at that. Yeah, it's part of a grave marker of some sort. Has a hole in it, I don't know. I'm not sure what kind that is, but again, the graveyard just right up over the hill there. You know, if we had a metal detector in here, it would probably drive us crazy with the amount of junk, but we might come back with one. Anytime you're out exploring and you see these little washouts like this, yeah, that's washed out, and you see gravel and stuff, always check that out if you're interested in finding old stuff, because you never know what could be in here. Like this is old copper wire, and that's probably fairly old. It's a hawk. It's spring, and it's mating time for them, so they're looking at, because you never know, there could be some Civil War bullets in here. I wouldn't be surprised at all to find a mini ball in here. I guarantee there's probably a ton of them in here. I don't know if there'll be any uncovered though. Oh, shoe. Listen to him. He's mad. He doesn't want the old Aquachigger in here. There he goes. Alright, I don't see anything old. We'll keep looking. See, there's a lot of trash dumped over the hillside here, and this house is right up there. I don't know how old they are. But groundhog hole, so let's look and see what he dug out. I don't see a whole lot. This looks like some bed springs here. That brick, anytime you see brick with holes in it like that, you know that's not very old. Did he dig anything out over here? Let's take a look. Any mini balls? Gold coins? No, I mean, you know, small cans. Nothing good. Alright, let's keep moving. Alright, this is the cemetery. Look, there's a Confederate battle flag flying up there. We'll have to go look at that. This isn't a very old section. This looks like 1958. World War II, died in 1946. Died right after the war, probably of wounds, I would imagine. Very possible. Born in 25, so he wasn't very old at that time. Alright, let's go up the hill. We'll follow these steps. Wait. And away we go. I don't see any more steps up here. Yeah, there's some down there. Let's go down that direction. Well, I guess that's where they buried Custer. I didn't even know there were any Custers in this area, really. I've never heard of any. Must be an old thing. Quick glance on this wall. I know the Civil War soldiers camped on this hill right here. I mean, it's written in the records. There could be a bullet or two rolling around, who knows. I'd never detect up here, but problem is too, when you see dirt like this, especially groundhog holes in cemeteries, they have a tendency to dig down where the dirt is soft. And when they get down to where the casket and stuff was, they'll make their burrows and they dig out all the soft dirt down there and kick it out. So you find little chunks of human bone and teeth. I found teeth in cemeteries like this. It's not, well, I mean, it's just dead people, but still, just chuck them back down the hole. What can you do? Probably the police, the railroad police. They probably saw me. I wouldn't doubt it because not very many people can drive along the tracks. And the thing is, the railroad actually has their own police force, and it's like separate from everyone else, and they're real sticklers. I've had friends that have actually gotten tickets just crossing the tracks. They don't mess around at all. I'm just glad I wasn't walking along the track because I would have probably just got a ticket. Of course, you would have seen it because I would have filmed the whole thing. But we won't go down there until he leaves. How's that sound? Oh, but look. Fur. Minor fur. I shouldn't laugh, but gosh, I almost have to. Right next to him, you got Clarence Butts. I'm gonna have Aquachigger on mine, so somebody will be laughing at me in 100 years. This is really a neat cemetery. It's got all these steps you can take to go up to the different levels everywhere. I guess you just walk across everybody's grave. Wow, that's really cool. I can't believe I've never been here. I don't even live very far from here. There's somebody. I know somebody by that name. Chambers. Alright. I don't see these steps here. I guess they're over here. We're almost to the top. This is what I mean about groundhog holes. There's a groundhog hole right there. You can see all the dirt he's kicked out going down the hill, and he's right in the middle of a bunch of graves right here, so this could very easily be a tooth in there. Teeth last a long time. We're not going to look too close. Look at that. There's this hidden hole. You see, we go straight down in here, and what they do is they usually have one hole. Groundhogs are pretty smart this way. When they dig out their den, what they'll do is they'll dig the dirt out and pile it up like we just saw. But off to the side, they'll have a hole that comes straight up with no dirt around it. So only they know about it. So if a predator comes along, like a dog or an owl or something like that, they can just drop down in that hole and be gone. And the predator doesn't know there's a hole there, so they can get away really easy. We call them blind holes, and that's what that is. You can see it's actually pretty good size. And it goes right down into the graves. What do you think? Some of the graves up here aren't old at all. Look, that one's no grass on it yet. 2014. Go look at this flag, see what this is all about. It almost looks like one of the things we saw down in the woods that was maybe flipped over on the other side. I have a feeling. Yeah, it is. Look, there's a hole right there. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. That is what would hold the gravestone up. I shouldn't laugh, but I'd say this Mr. Baker here was actually a Civil War veteran. Says he fought in most of the wars. But it's kind of weird how they did that. Gone but not forgot. 10. That's kind of strange. Hope they got a discount on that one. Okay, so we solved the mystery of the Confederate flag. It actually marks the grave of 50 Confederate soldiers. To the memory of, well, I guess 30 brave soldiers. They fought for honor's sake and died for right. 1861-65, Confederates. I guess I know a few of them, maybe. You have to remember that, during the Civil War, soldiers didn't have dog tags per se. They weren't issued anything by the government. They could buy their own private ones, and a lot of Yankees did. So a lot of the Yankee soldiers, their bodies were able to be identified. And of course, they were dug up immediately after the war and brought to national cemeteries for the most part. Confederates, on the other hand, often had no identification, and they would just you know, they were just buried where they were, and no one knows who they were. So, and there was no national effort by the government to dig up the dead Confederate soldiers and move them to cemeteries, only for the Yankees, you know, the side that won. So a lot of the Confederates were just left where they, you know, where they lay, where they were buried in near, you know, near farms or outhouses, not outhouses, but you know what I mean, outside, you know, outbuildings, where they were buried around the farm and in the woods and whatnot. No one went back after the war in big groups funded by a government to get them, for the most part. Coming up to the mausoleum here. A little bit windy, I hope it's not bothering you. It's a pretty building. Beautiful stained glass, huh? Don't know when this was built, but it's probably a date up here somewhere. We'll just kind of peek inside. Well, I don't guess we can go inside, but... Huh. Alright, let's go around the side here and see what we have. Nice views from up here. Kind of weird, this hill is almost round. It's a big round like knob. Very unusual for this area. Let's go ahead and work our way back down the hill toward the railroad tracks, see what we can see down there. We'll try to have to stay off the tracks a little bit, or at least listen for the crunch of gravel so we know if the police come back. There's a mausoleum, and I just talked about turning the camera off, but look at this. I've never seen this before, at least not around here. This isn't a custom that you see. It's 1870s, all done in the 70s, some more down there. Huh. That's 34. Must be a family thing, I guess. Getting back down near the tracks where I wanted to kind of poke around a little bit, but I see something weird over there. I guess that's another type of mausoleum. See how it's built up? It looks like it's brick. Let's go look at that. We might as well, we're right here. Then we can just jump over the hill here and get in this flat, this bottom, with woods down here, and look around a little bit, see what we can see. Maybe we'll find one of those old locomotives sticking out of the mud. Could be one down there. There probably are parts of some of those cars that they burned back then. And some animal thingies. Look at that. Looks like it might be like a feral cat colony here. Looking down, we should go look at that, I guess. Make sure there's nobody in it, but it looks like there's some stuff. That's a cat carrier and something they set up on the log. Make sure there's no cat in there that they... I guess the door is open though. They probably just abandoned one here, I guess. Yeah, the door's open. Oh, that's a skeleton of a cat in there. Kind of looks like it. We'll look at that on the way down. I want to go check this thing out first. This like a little miniature mausoleum over here. There's that cat carrier over there. It looks almost like an old roadbed. We'll have to look at this a little bit closer. You can see there's some stonework here too. We'll go look at that after we check out this thing up here. Ah, it's open. That's weird. Spooky. I can imagine doing this at night. Wouldn't it be awesome? Come out here at night. We should wait and come back at night. See what's in there. I guess it's a mausoleum. Could be a bomb shelter, I guess. Looks like they probably have stuff stored in there now. A little sprayer there. It's definitely, ooh, spooky. What's in there? I should have brought my flashlight. Yeah, I guess that's what it is. Smells like dead stuff in here. Doesn't smell good at all, actually. The reason they had these things, of course, if you don't know, is that in the wintertime, you know, if someone died, the ground could be frozen, and it could be frozen 2 feet thick. And when the ground is frozen, it's just like concrete. It's really, really hard to dig in. So what they do is they just pop the body in here and wait till the ground would thaw out, come spring, and then they could dig the grave and go ahead and bury him. But that was kind of like cold storage for the people who died in the wintertime. This is where we'll jump over the edge, right where it says no dumping allowed. That means people used to dump here. The signs. Let's go see what's down the hill. Well, they probably covered it up with all this shale rock. So that's going down. That's definitely a roadbed. You can see where it goes out that way and goes along. So it'd be worth exploring if you dare. Hold your breath. Let's run down the hill. And we made it. I had to grab a hold of that tree because I was getting a little too fast. Yeah, this is pretty cool down here. A lot of old rocks and stuff. Rocks, old bricks back there. Of course, you always want to look in the tree roots, see if there's any mini balls or old bottles or belt buckles or cannonballs sticking out. And there could be, you never know. We'll go up here and check out this cat carrier, make sure there's nothing nefarious going on. And the stone wall. I'm wondering why the stone wall is only here. That is a mystery to me. Unless it was like a loading dock right here or something. There's only one little small section of it, and that's it. All right, let's go check out the cat carrier. It's right up there. Hope there's no little kitty skeletons in there. Well, that's not at all what I thought it was going to be. It's a cat carrier. Well, these are bowls, I mean. Those little kitty bowls. But it's full of electronics. That's weird. I wonder, let's go ahead and pull that out of there. That way the cat can at least, or an animal can get in there if it's really cold. And, you know, get out of the rain. Might be helpful. Leave the mat in there for him. Yeah, there. So, it might be a little spot for him to hang out if it's really cold one day in the winter. Nice bowls. They don't look very old, do they? India. That's strange. See the hill of the cemetery back behind me, and we're getting into the bottom. And it looks like it's really marshy down here. I see a lot of cattails and stuff, which means there won't be any like Civil War camps, but I guess there could be a sunken steam locomotive full of gold coins down here, I suppose. Those are the railroad tracks over here, and this is the section that they definitely burn the cars on, because I've seen pictures. So there could be some stuff down here in this mud. We might be in the mud before it's over and not to return. Remember that rust stuff I was telling you about that leaches out of the old dead organic matter, like dead bodies. I mean, you've seen what I've walked through to get down here. I mean, how did this thing get here? That would be impossible for that thing to wash down. What's that, a Volkswagen? That's kind of cool. I can understand the little plastic thingies. Huh. Let's look and see what we can find. A nice little blue bottle. Not very old, but you know, it's blue. It's broken. I'm not going to keep it. In fact, I just dropped it. Sorry about that. Down here to the stream. It's a nice little stream down here. The only problem is we are directly below the sewage treatment plant. It's right there. So I think if you dipped your finger in the water down here, it'd be like acid and be down to the bone in no time. It's not really that bad, but it does really stink. I'd love to get in it because it could easily be some good stuff in it, but it just stinks so bad that I don't dare. Whew, smell it from here. And anytime you're near a sewage treatment plant or a river that is mostly sewage that's been treated, has a deep earthy smell. It's a very particular smell. Not real unpleasant, but I mean, once you've smelled it and you know what it is, you'll never forget it. Again, that's the B&O Railroad right there in an old bridge. I don't know how old that bridge is, but there would have definitely been one there in the 1840s or 50s. We'll just walk out here and take a quick peek. Water's nice and clear, which is nice considering, like I said, it's directly below the sewage treatment plant. If you can find an area, there's an old bottle there, we'll look at it. Hopefully our fingers won't rot off. If you can find an area where it's a little bit scoured, it's always good to check. That looks like a cork top bottle there, so we'll fish it out. See, it looks like an old whiskey bottle. What do you think? Should we? Nah, that's fine. Yeah, it's an old cork top bottle. These aren't terribly old. I'm not sure what they date to. Has a patent on it, but well, maybe it's 19. What is that? Let's see here. Let me clean it up for you. And we'll see what it says. Okay. DES patent 91561. We can look that up online to see how old it is. I don't think it's too old, but it is a cork top though, so that's pretty cool, but I'm not going to keep it. Unless some other lucky devil come down here and find it, and they'll be really happy with it. It's not quite old enough for me to be interested in it. But, you know, there could be some old ones in there. There's something over there, but I'm not going to go that deep. Not in this stuff. We're going to go across this log right here and try to... Well, no need to. We can go up that way. A lot of bottles in here. I see several of them out through here, a bunch of them. There's one here I can reach. See what it is. Yeah, see, that's a whiskey bottle, a whiskey flask, but it's a screw top. A full pint! We'll let him go. Try not to touch my fingers to my mouth because that really stinks. Although, you know, once the water's been through a sewage treatment plant, you can drink it, and it's safe. As long as it's been treated properly. I used to work for the health department years ago as an environmental health inspector, and part of what some of the stuff I'd have to do is inspect, you know, treatment plants like that. One of the old timers, his name was John Brown. No joke, John Brown. And what he would do when he'd take training classes through, like, you know, new people like me, is he'd be taking us through the sewage treatment plant, and it's really disgusting. All kinds of stuff, you know, rubber things floating on the water, so really disgusting. But once it's been treated, it goes into another pool. What he would do, this guy was a nut, is he, you know, all smoked a cigar, and he'd like accidentally drop it in there and pick it up real quick and stick it back in his mouth, just to freak us out. But, you know, he knew that that was treated sewage, and again, it has to be treated to the point where we could actually drink it and be safe. Old John Brown, I'm sure he's been dead probably 40 years. Not the same John Brown, mind you. Not the one you're thinking about. This is the old bridge. You can see there's like several different sections here. Of course, during the Civil War, it would have been, you know, just one line probably through here, and they added another one. But what we should do, we should come back here, and I'll do this if you want me to. Just let me know, with a magnet, do some magnet fishing here. Probably a lot of railroad iron. Might be some good railroad iron though. But there could be some Civil War stuff too, because like I said, this is exactly where they burned all those boxcars. And there could be some burned up muskets in there, who knows? I'll take a burned up musket any day. Okay, what we'll do is we'll go around this way and get up on the tracks, and I want to go over to the other side. I saw a neat cliff. It looked like there's a big cliff over there, and it goes right down into the water, so that might be a place for us to come back this summer. Alright, this is where I saw the cliff over there. Let's go over there and look at it real quick. We'll pop over the track and hopefully not get arrested. So I'm just looking at that cliff over there on the other side of the stream. I think we can get around there pretty easy, but I'm not going to today because the sun's getting low, and I'm parked a ways up here in a little park, and I don't want to be there after dark. But if you look over there, you can see a lot of trash. There's like washing machines and all kinds of stuff that fell over this bank. So there could be some good bottles over in there. I don't know. There's a lot of tires and stuff, so that stuff's not very old, but who knows what else is in there. Because if they were dumping stuff in there 50, 60 years ago, they could have been dumping stuff there 150 years ago. You just never know. So what we'll do, if you want, we'll come back here, do some magnet fishing, and we'll look along that bank over there, see if we can find some old bottles or maybe some bullets or something, because I know the troops are here for sure. And again, this is right about where the stuff was burned, so they could have pushed cars, you know, railroad cars and stuff in there too. Oh, here they come to get old Bo. Let's go. I mean, I have no doubt there's going to be some good stuff in there. There's going to be so much newer stuff on top, it's going to be hard to find, but it's definitely going to be worth coming to this spot. I mean, you can see all kinds of stuff down in there. I mean, some newer things, but I think this is going to be a good spot for us to come back to. It's not metal detecting, at least just looking around with a shovel and, you know, a magnet maybe. Oh, it's junky though. Look how junky that is. Wow. It must have been the city dump down here. On the other side anyway. Alright. Keep moving. A couple groundhog holes here, so let's look at them, see what he's been digging up. So we know what's down, you know, 3 or 4 feet. And I'm seeing a lot of broken glass, nothing terribly old. That's on the surface, but this would be the stuff he's digging out. This is a piece of slag. This would have been from the steam engines, you know, burned coal. That looks almost like bone. You think it's bone? Nah, I don't think it's bone. That looks like mortar from a building, maybe. That's a chunk of coal. That would burn if you threw it in your fireplace or your stove, and that's burned coal. That's unburned coal. And there you go. That's more unburned coal. Right there, so. That's from the railroad, of course. It doesn't occur naturally in this area. Alright, and we'll find some more groundhog holes and look at them. Yeah, I want to go back on the other side where that road was that went along the edge of the cemetery. That looks really interesting to me, or it did. Now when I say groundhog, you know what I mean. For you Yankees, that would be a woodchuck. For you people across the pond, that might be a marmot. But anything that digs in the ground is good to look for in those holes, whether it be like a badger or a skunk or a possum or anything. But there's just a lot of groundhogs around here, so that's why I say groundhogs. Or whistle pigs. They call them whistle pigs, don't forget, because they whistle. And they're called hogs, whistle hogs. Well, that's where the road was over there, but you can see it intersects this track, so I don't think it went all the way through. Oh, you know what it is? I bet it was down here. Came around this way, followed the stream around, and probably just went over the tracks here, and these tracks would have been a lot lower. You know, back in the Civil War era, of course, it would not have looked this robust and industrial. But it was much more rinky-dink back then. I mean, the steam engines and cars are much, much smaller and much lighter. That's what it is. The road is under our feet right now, probably 40 feet down. Then it pops up on the other side over there. So let's go this way. Treasures. God, that's horrible. God, that's a giant mattress. That's a king, I reckon. That's an American-sized mattress right there. That'd hold at least one of us. All right, let's go. Just heard another train, so I guess it's a good thing we got off the tracks. A couple groundhog holes here, and I saw a couple behind me I want to look at. See where they dug out this shale. This is shale dirt. That's naturally occurring in this area. Looks like an old battery there, maybe. Maybe they dug up a person. That's somebody's jacket or something. All right, let's go down. I saw a bunch of holes dug over here. That might be an interesting area to look. Yeah, a couple nice holes, a nice big groundhog hole down here. I'm really interested to see what that is. That's down more toward the natural level here. This one here is kind of old. Looks like this is probably nesting material that they had in one of the nests. But there's a couple big ones down here. These could even be fox dens, because they're dug out a good bit. Hey, I wonder if that's a milk bottle. Is that a milk bottle? No. Oh, look how soft that dirt is. Look at that. Jeez. You can dig through that stuff, no problem, can he? That's slate, or yeah, slate, like they put on a roof. Couple bottles here. Oh, it's human! Look, it's human! That's just deer. We know deer bones. Oh, there he is. Oh, poor dude. I think he died, didn't he? Or if he before passed away. Died is a joke. If you don't get it, you just don't get it. Really soft dirt here where he dug this out. No light bulb. I don't know how old that is, but man, that's a big hole. That's probably a fox there. Rolling rock. None of this stuff is very old in here. I'm not really excited about it. So we'll look at this one more hole down here, then we'll hit the road. Some more parts of the deer. Want to see the train? Let's go up here and look at it. We'll stay in the bushes though. Oi, 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 oi. Run, 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 run. Okay. Yeah, that's a good spot for it right here. Yeah, that's a ways away. Let's look at it. Here it comes. When they're coming from the direction this one's coming from is downhill, and it's downhill for like hundreds of miles. And naturally when it's going the other way, it's uphill. So when the coal cars come down, loaded, they fly along, but when they go back empty, they just barely move. They'll have up to a dozen engines hauling it back up the hill. And coming down the hill, they just have two. This one's moving pretty fast. See what's on it. Might be the no, it's not the Amtrak. Love that sound. The ground's vibrating underfoot. I'm easily amused. You feel the ground's really shaking. It's going thump, 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 and I can feel it in my knees. I want to look at the lower entrance to that big hole, because this might actually be a fox. It's quite large, but it could be because it's so soft. Usually when you find a fox den, you find a lot of bones and stuff because the fox will catch things and bring it back for their babies. But you know, it's a little too early for babies, so it could still be a fox den. That's a long train. I want to check out the root ball here. I came down by the creek one more time. Let's see what's in here. I can see all kinds of pieces of broken bottle and stuff. No whole ones. There's some bricks back in there. Don't see any steam whistles. See any steam whistles? No. All right. Yeah, these aren't that old. That's like an old fruit jar or something. Some glass. That's some window glass there. All right, nothing here. No mini balls or muskets sticking out of here. Let's look at the stream while we're here. Wow, look at all the trash over there. Yeah, that must have been like the town dump at one time. And I don't think it's that old. It's all screw tops, but I'm gonna pop down here one day and look at it. Like I say, you never know when they first started it. You know what that is? Do ya? That's a net that you would throw out and catch minnows. And it's probably not quite as dangerous to the little animals as like a fishing line would be. I think I can avoid that pretty easy. If that was fishing line, I'd take it out with me for sure. This is the sewage treatment plant I told you about. That's right above where we were. There's a stream right there. Wow, that's deep there. City of Martinsburg. You know, as part of getting a degree in biology, you have to do a big paper on something to do with the environment or animals or whatnot. So I did a study of this stream right here, and the health of it above the sewage treatment plant and the health of it below the sewage treatment plant. Of course, this was, you know, a long time ago, but it was terrible. I mean, above it was beautiful, well, decent. Below was terrible. It's full of phosphates. I mean, the phosphates were just off the scale. But it doesn't look too bad now, so I guess maybe they cleaned up the rack. There's fish in it. I can see fish swimming around. I hope this is not really the animal control center. Oh my gosh, look at this place. There's probably a lot of ghosts of dogs and cats in there, huh? Oh, yeah, that's exactly what it was. Probably skeletons in there. I never knew this was down here. I mean, they have a really beautiful facility now, but hope we're not behind a locked gate up here, because it's possible that we are. So I didn't come down this road. We came around the track. So. All right, so that's going to end of the video. We'll just stop it here. If you liked my video, please give me a like. And if you like my videos, plural, please give me a subscribe. That would be awesome. I always like to see the number tick up. We'll see you on the next one. Hopefully it'll be a little bit more exciting.